Coming up, Viva Las Vegas, NASCAR goes west.
You have guys running the very top, sweeping guys down the back straightaway, catching them, and that'll be cool.
I want to get better each time that I'm out there.
Jeff Gordon on his transition from the driver's seat to the broadcast booth. And John Hunter Nemechek makes a pit stop after his truck win at Atlanta. Plus, we're going under the hood at Brad Keselowski Racing. Buckle up, your ride around the track starts now.
And now, Fox 46's Around the Track.
Happy race day, and thanks for tuning in to Around the Track. He's Josh Sims. I'm Anthony Flores. The haulers are packed for a 3-week road trip as NASCAR goes west.
Well, that's right, Anthony. It's NASCAR's version of the West Coast Swing. The Cup Series will visit Sin City, the Valley of the Sun, and sunny California. Got to say, I'm jealous of that. But before we look ahead to Las Vegas, let's hit the rewind button on a big week for the number 48 team.
That's right, Josh. Last Sunday, the Sprint Cup Series made a pit stop at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Jimmie Johnson was cruising to an easy victory with 3 laps to go, had more than a 5-second lead on Kevin Harvick. Then Ryan Newman has an issue with the left rear of the car, just the second caution of the race. That brings the pack back to Johnson. We're headed for an overtime restart. Johnson maintains his lead. There's an accident on the back straightaway, but Johnson is able to make it to the overtime line on the backstretch. Jimmie Johnson goes back-to-back at Atlanta, wins for the 5th time at Atlanta. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was second. Kyle Busch finished third. Johnson ties Dale Earnhardt Sr. for 7th place all-time with his 76th career Sprint Cup victory.
I entered the sport just hoping I could win a race and keep a job for a few years, and to have 76 and tie Dale Earnhardt Sr. is something I'm very, very proud of. There's been a big void in my mind about not having that chance to race against him, and it was literally a handful of months away from having that opportunity. So to tie him today, for myself personally, gives me a little something. It's a little bit of attachment to the great Dale Earnhardt, and something I'm very proud of.
All right, let's take a look at the current Sprint Cup standings. Defending champ Kyle Busch leads the pack after consecutive top 5 finishes. Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, and Atlanta winner Jimmie Johnson round out the top 5. Martin Truex Jr. falls to 8th after being docked 15 points for failing pre-race inspection. 11th place Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman, who fell from the list, were also penalized by NASCAR. Both drivers were docked 10 points for violations regarding the body mounts on their cars, which helped Dale Earnhardt Jr. move into 16th. Jr. and Kasey Kahne look to make a move towards the top today in Sin City. All right, last week at Atlanta was the first time drivers were tested with the new lower downforce rules package. Smaller spoilers on the rear and splitters under the nose are primary changes that reduce the downforce. Through 1 week, drivers are happy with the new rules, saying it makes the cars more difficult and fun to drive. One thing that has caught drivers' attention is the speed of the cars under the reduced downforce rules.
I think the biggest surprise is just how fast the cars are going. I mean, I guess in my mind, I envision the lower downforce package being slower, but the cars are really fast.
So far so good. Definitely have a lot more speed than we had to start the year last year, or even to end the year last year. So that was a big positive, vibe going throughout the shop, and hopefully we can keep that up.
The top 12 drivers in practice throughout the week all topped 190 miles per hour. So if you're a fan of speed, this is the race for you.
With Atlanta in the books, we head to Sin City for the 3rd race of the Sprint Cup circuit. Las Vegas Motor Speedway has gone through some changes in recent years, both with the track and fan experience. We now take a look at the 20-year history of the track.
Boogity, Viva Las Vegas! Let's go racing, boys!
The Cup Series is back in Sin City. It is the 20-year anniversary of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which opened in 1996. The first Cup race wasn't held there until 1998, when Mark Martin took the checkered flag. The 1.5-mile-long track has seen 12 different winners in the 18 Sprint Cup races there. The smart money is on Jimmie Johnson, who's won at Las Vegas 4 times, including a three-peat from 2005 through 2007. Las Vegas natives Kurt and Kyle Busch look to make a trip to victory lane. Kyle won back in 2009, but Kurt has never made it to his hometown winner's circle. The track underwent a makeover in 2006, increasing the banking from 12 to 20 inches, leading to more side-by-side racing.
It'll be pretty neat. You'll have guys running the very top, sweeping guys down the back straightaway, catching them, and that'll be cool.
The Speedway also added a fan zone called the Neon Garage. This area has live entertainment and gives fans unprecedented access to the drivers and teams. You can watch your favorite driver's car get worked on from the viewing area as you catch up with some drivers. The Neon Garage is also home to the Winner's Circle, which is where Kevin Harvick found himself last year. Will he repeat? We'll find out. But one thing is for sure, what happens in Vegas definitely won't stay in Vegas. And Las Vegas will add another chapter to its history books today when the race goes green at 3:30 p.m.
So who will put the new rules package to good use and capture the checkered flag? Here's our 5 drivers to watch at Las Vegas. Coming in at number 5, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He came in second last week at Atlanta and has 4 top 5 finishes at Las Vegas. Number 4 on our list is Carl Edwards. He came in 5th last week and already has 2 wins and 5 top 5 finishes in Sin City. Number 3 is last week's winner, Jimmie Johnson. He already holds the track record, 4 wins at Las Vegas, but hasn't won there since 2010. Number 2 is hometown hero and defending Sprint Cup champion Kyle Busch. He only has one win at his hometown track and had to miss last year's race with that injury. And the man to watch today is Kevin Harvick. He won here last year and has 4 top finishes under his belt.
There's Joe Nemechek, John Hunter's dad on the left, cheering for his son. John Hunter Nemechek wins in Atlanta.
John Hunter Nemechek races his way to the checkered flag in Atlanta. It's his 2nd win on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and he did it by surviving a pair of crashes late in the race and winning the restart with 2 laps to go and holding on for victory. And now I am joined by the NASCAR Truck Series winner at Atlanta, John Hunter Nemechek, and his father, Sprint Cup veteran Joe Nemechek. Guys, I was watching your faces as that video was playing. John Hunter, we'll begin with you. What was that experience like?
I'm still smiling about it. It was a great experience for all of our team. We've worked really hard in the offseason trying to keep our momentum going from last year to this year, especially with the new chase format. You have to win a race early in order to get locked into the chase for the last 7 races. So it was a very special win for our guys, especially as a team and new group of guys coming together.
Joe, as a veteran of the Sprint Cup, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, what was that moment like for you as a father to watch John Hunter cross the finish line in victory?
Well, it was very gratifying, I can tell you that. There was so many highs and lows from that race. When they dropped the green flag, I was just praying we weren't going to crash because we missed the setup and he was extremely loose. So that first pit stop came, we took some wild swings at tightening up the chassis, and the next run, he went from wherever he was 18th, he drove to the front, and then it was 2 more smaller adjustments, and we got it where he was a contender there at the end.
John Hunter, your 2nd victory on the Truck Series, and you're still only 18 years old. What does it mean to you to have 2 victories already on your resume?
It means a lot to me. I thought we were actually going to win more races last year, to tell you the truth, but to have 2 wins under my belt as an 18-year-old, I mean, every kid grows up dreaming that they want to be a NASCAR driver, a professional NASCAR driver, racing all the veterans on the circuit one day. And luckily, I have had the opportunity to grow up through the ranks, be there when it counts for Chicago and Atlanta now, so it's very gratifying.
Jimmie Johnson's pit crew was also on your pit crew. How's that come about? How did that happen?
Yeah, there was a lot of work in place to get them to come and be our pit crew for this year. It actually started last year, halfway through the season. A great group of guys. They have fun doing it. They love to do it. They love to be in victory lane. So it was very special to get them a win.
Joe, you're also not only the father, but the team owner and in charge of everything that goes on with the truck and the racing team. How do you balance that?
Well, number one, we got to have competitive trucks. You have to, and there's so many pieces that are involved in that folks don't know. That a lot of the folks out there are just watching a race, but the aerodynamics are a huge part. The chassis is a huge part. The driver behind the wheel, but most important is the people around you, putting the right setups in there and tuning the trucks to make them going around the corner as fast as you can.
This team is underfunded. How much does having 2 victories under your belt, and he's only 18 years old, help in terms of the quest of trying to land that primary sponsor?
Well, we're working very hard. You know, the phones definitely lit up this week, and we definitely need help. It's I've put my heart and soul into trying to make him and educate him the best I can to make him successful. No doubt he's going to be a future Cup champion, and we just got to get there right now.
John Hunter, this year something new, a chase format, much like the Cup Series for the Truck Series. What does it mean to you? Because this win all but locks you into that Truck Series chase.
I think it's going to be very exciting, especially from the fan perspective. It's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking from the driver perspective, knowing that you have to contend for wins each week during the chase. I'm sure we're going to have to win another race or two to definitely be locked in for that chase seat, just because there's so many drivers that are so competitive this year. I think this year is one of the most stout Truck Series fields, so you're going to have to run up front. You can't have any mistakes.
Is it tough, father and son, when you're trying to give him advice? Because you've raced in all 3 series, have years of driving under your belt, and he's up and coming. He probably thinks, I know when I was 18 years old, you think you know everything.
Well, I give him his room. It's when we go to these tracks, I've been doing this long enough, and I've been to just about all the tracks that we go to. So you learn what's important at these things, and trying to pass on the years of knowledge that I have as far as these are the tendencies when you go to this place. There's bumps here. This is what you're going to fight in the race. And he takes that all in, and then it's up to him to go out and make his truck right. There's things that he'll come back in from practice he'll be saying on the radio, and I can pretty much tell you before he's going to say them what he's going to say, okay? So it's just one of those things we talk about, and we try to make good educated decisions on trying to make the right adjustments to give him the right feel. But I just let him go on his own. There's the old saying, you have to learn by experience. Well, that's exactly what he does.
What's the biggest difference in driving a Cup car and a truck?
The Cup cars now, they're way different. I mean, the cars are let down on the ground. Roll centers are different. They have a lot of stick in them. I know this year they cut the spoiler off. They took a lot of downforce away, which I haven't had the opportunity to drive one of those, so I'm just comparing to last year. But the trucks make a lot of downforce. They draft up on each other a lot quicker than both the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars. So there's different traits that you have to master to be a champion.
Well, John Hunter, you have less than a month before the next truck race. What do you do between now and then?
We're going to be in the shop working with our guys every day, going through a little bit of development work, trying to get our trucks better for these next few races coming up, try and get a little bit more prepared so we're not rushing to put trucks together, pay attention to some fine details to make us go faster.
Now, the last time he came in here, he was specific and said he's not retired, he's a part-time driver. When can we expect to see you back on the track?
Well, I think that's all based on funding, and as funding develops, you may see me back in a truck, but right now all the focus is on John Hunter. We're putting all of our efforts trying to find primary sponsorship to win him a Camping World Truck Series championship, and he can do it. I mean, this is a best group of people that we've put together in a long time, and he can win the championship. We just need a little help.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on your win at Atlanta, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next truck race comes your way Saturday, April 2nd at Martinsville Speedway. The race goes green at 2:30 p.m.
Taking a look at the driver standings for the Camping World Truck Series, Parker Klingerman leads the way, followed by Daniel Hemrick. John Hunter Nemechek is in third, and Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 8.
I tell people all the time it's the best job in the world because it's not a job. It's fun.
Coming up, we go under the hood with an inside look at Daniel Hemrick's truck and see all the work that goes into it to get it race day ready. You're watching Around the Track. Welcome back to Around the Track. Brian Vickers is back on the track in Las Vegas. He returns to the 14 car after missing last week at Atlanta. Ty Dillon filled in during that race. Now both drivers will continue to split time until Tony Stewart gets back behind the wheel after suffering a back injury. Vickers has 2 top 10 finishes in 9 career races at Las Vegas.
Well, whether we're talking about the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, or the Truck Series, getting a vehicle ready for a race is a team effort.
Yeah, in this week's Under the Hood, we head to Brad Keselowski Racing for a closer look at Daniel Hemrick's number 19 truck.
Hey, I'm Chad Kendrick, crew chief of the 19 truck driven by Daniel Hemrick here at BKR. I tell people all the time it's the best job in the world because it's not a job. It's fun. First and foremost, it's managing a group of about 7 guys, making sure that everybody's pulling in the same direction to get the race vehicle ready for that next race. Once we get to the track, it's managing those guys to make the changes in the most efficient way to get the most out of practice and make sure the changes are accurate. Where I started in this sport, I've done almost everything. It's good to know and to look at these vehicles and know what those guys, when they come to you with a question, you don't have to go look every time what they're referring to. You kind of know because you know what they're talking about. Everybody can scan and listen to your radio. You don't want other teams to know that you're changing a truck arm or you're changing a right rear spring or you're going to this spring. So we actually have codes for our changes. I would say 9 times out of 10, if we don't run the way we want to run, it usually falls on my shoulders. Every race I go into it with, we just loaded up the best truck that's going to unload. We have a winning truck, and this truck's, we're going to win. And the guys, I want the guys thinking that way, I want the driver thinking that way, and then it's our job to get there to make sure that happens. And you just want to do it. You want to win, you want to perform, and you want to be the best.
Now that's a really fun segment to do, and we're always looking for crews to feature. You can hit me up on Twitter at AnthonyFox46 or email me at anthony.flores@foxtv.com if you're interested in having us feature your team.
I'm approaching it like racing. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to get better each time that I'm out there.
Retirement can be a tough thing to deal with. After the break, we hear from Jeff Gordon on how he's handling his transition to the broadcast booth. Around the Track, we'll be back after this.
Well, the NASCAR season is less than a month old, but Jeff Gordon has already spent countless hours hard at work. Now, it hasn't been the typical retirement for the legendary driver of the number 24 car. He is transitioning into his role as a broadcaster for NASCAR on Fox. Gordon says he still gets the itch to get out there and race, but it's his family that misses racing even more.
But the kids really wanted to go and see the 24 car and the team and see Chase Elliott. They're big Chase Elliott fans now. Right now, I'm so enthralled and interested and excited about working with Fox and seeing the sport from a different perspective. That at Daytona, I was really surprised. There was a few moments where I was missing it, and I was thinking, boy, wouldn't that be awesome to be down there battling it out. But for the most part, I'm just enjoying the new job. I want to get better each time that I'm out there or in the booth. And so, yeah, I definitely watched it and made a lot of notes.
And you can catch Jeff Gordon along with Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip on the call of the Cobalt 400 today at 3:30 p.m.
Martin Truex Jr.'s day at Atlanta did not go as well as Jimmy Johnson's. His crew chief, Cole Pearn, has been suspended 1 race and fined $50,000 following a second roof flap violation in as many weeks. The number 78 team also forfeited 15 championship owner and 15 championship driver points for the violation found during pre-race inspection at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pearn has been placed on probation throughout the end of the year after a similar violation was discovered on February 14th before qualifying at Daytona. Pearn is appealing the suspension, so he will be allowed to crew chief this weekend at Las Vegas.
It's not like we were trying to pull something over on somebody. You know, this was a case where, you know, something happened that we don't really understand. So, I'll let the team go through the appeal process and do what they got to do. But, you know, at the end of the day, we raced Atlanta with, without, any issues. We had, obviously a fast car and very competitive day on the racetrack. And, I'm just really looking forward to continuing that.
Matt Kenseth was also upset with how Atlanta played out. He was off to a stellar start when he hit pit road on lap 117. During the stop, Kenseth was penalized for improper fueling when his fueler placed a wrench on the top of the car while also putting gas in the car. This brought out the black flag, but Kenseth and his team didn't see it because the crew chief was arguing with the NASCAR officials. After failing to pit for the black flag that cost him another lap, Kenseth ended up finishing 19th, 2 laps behind the winner.
And this is the actual car that Kyle Busch wrecked in the NASCAR Xfinity race.
New season, new exhibits. Just ahead, we take a tour of the NASCAR Hall of Fame and get a sneak peek of the new exhibits they have in 2016. You're watching Around the Track.
Well, there are several new exhibits at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, including the car where Kyle Busch's season almost ended last year. Here's a sneak peek of what's going on at the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
And this is the actual car that Kyle Busch wrecked in the NASCAR Xfinity race in Daytona at the first of 2005. Missed 11 races and came back remarkably and still won the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. This is the car that he wrecked in, and there's also a video that Kyle walks through almost frame by frame of everything that he was experiencing, what he was thinking as he came to the accident. So this is going to be on display until about May of this year. And we've got several other new exhibits that we added in the first of 2016. A case that highlights all the champions from the top 3 divisions. Of course, the aforementioned Kyle Busch, who won the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship, Chris Buescher, who won the NASCAR Xfinity Series championship, and Eric Jones, who won the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series championship. And so always trying to add things and change things out. And the fact that Kyle wrecked in this car, came back and won the championship is something that's very special to us.
So definitely some good things to see over there at the NASCAR Hall of Fame Museum, and it sounds like it's going to be a really good, really competitive race later today.
And that race, of course, begins right here on Fox 46 at 3:30. That's going to do it for this edition of Around the Track. For Josh Sims and the rest of our entire crew, I'm Anthony Flores. Thanks for watching and enjoy the race. So long, everyone.